In terms of impact, it was just wonderful knowing that, from one day to the next, suddenly these families didn't have to go through it on their own. They had somebody who would be walking alongside them, an organisation that had all the resources, all the partnerships that they could possibly need to draw on. And to know that we had bridged that gap was really a tremendous feeling.
Ideally, what we would like to see is that no family goes through this alone. So I would, really want to focus on increasing our footprint and our presence in the issue, and also, just in the world of hostage taking, that we are known to be an organization who is here for supporting the families and solely supporting the families throughout the case.
I have been advocating in D.C. for my brother from the first week of his wrongful detention, and over time I have come to rely on partners like Hostage US to an extent I never could have foreseen. I cannot scream at Congress, at state, at the administration, or the NSC. I cannot yell at the media or friends or supporters or anyone. But I can turn to Hostage US, where friendly and caring people share my burden, walk alongside me, listen, and come back again to listen some more. But if we look from side to side, we are not alone. Hostage US is a vital and irreplaceable part of each of our teams if we so choose. In those early days, I didn't think I would need their help. Now, I don't know what I would do without it. And I know that when Paul returns, they will be there for him as well, walking with him as long as he would like.
As you can imagine, having a loved one taken hostage is an incredibly difficult experience to live through. In fact, right now, there are at least 48 publicly known hostage and detainees cases involving Americans. Their families face unimaginable hardship and challenges as they fight to secure the release for their loved one, many times in secret and in isolation, especially during this pandemic. The struggles don't always end when a hostage is able to return home. Often they and their families are confronted with a whole new set of challenges that require immense support. I support the mission of Hostage US because I know the importance of family and the value of having a support system in place when you are going through something so traumatic. I invite you to join Hostage US and thank you for your much needed support of their mission.
It's one of the things that I'm involved in that I feel most passionate about. Anyone who can imagine your own loved one being held somewhere foreign, far away, where you can't touch them or know if they're okay or speak with them, it's really unimaginable.
It was late 2009. You were in Afghanistan. What were you doing? Where were you? What was going on?
Local journalists and Afghan journalists had interviewed a Taliban commander several times before with European journalists, and he set up an interview for us. When we arrived for the interview, the commander kidnapped us. And that was the beginning of 7 months in captivity. With the help of the Afghan journalist who worked with me, he helped me escape. It was a miracle. We were moved to a house that was very close to a Pakistani military base, and while our guards were asleep, we used a rope, tied it to a wall, lowered ourselves off the roof of this house, and then walked to this military base. We were almost shot by the Pakistani guards when we approached in the middle of the darkness, but we were led on the base, and I was incredibly lucky that Afghan journalist was so brave and saved my life.
It's hard, I think, for all of us to put ourselves in your shoes to imagine what that was like. But I'm assuming there were many, many moments when you didn't think you were going to be free.
It's similar to being diagnosed, I guess, with a fatal disease, being diagnosed with cancer. And that happens to people every day in every country. And you have to face your mortality. You have to accept that you don't control, whether you're going to live or die. And, it's amazing the human mind. You come up with ways to cope, and we found ways to function day after day. And people do that when they face these kinds of diagnoses. So, again, I was lucky. Most importantly, Hostage US helps families. A loved one is kidnapped. What do you do? What if the kidnappers contact you? What happens when the FBI and other government agencies contact you? You're asked, do you want the U.S. military to carry out a raid? And so it's really important that Hostage US and any organization exists to help freelance journalists and the families of contractors who don't know where to turn, don't know how to pressure, the federal government, the White House, who to approach in Congress. And Hostage US does a remarkable job of sort of doing that very quietly behind the scenes.
Your courage and resilience inspires me. And I want to commit to you that this enterprise will never stop in its efforts to bring your loved ones home and to support you with better accountability, transparency, and communication. Thank you for all that you are doing as invaluable members of this team. I will end by committing to you that we will continue to take care of families. We will continue to build this enterprise by implementing the Levinson Act. And most importantly, together, we will bring our people home.
This is an organization that steps into the worst kind of crisis to provide hope and relief. When loved ones have nowhere else to turn, Hostage US is there. They're there as a resource to ensure that hostages and their families can be reunited once again. Boeing has been proud to support Hostage US since its founding, and we will continue to support this critical mission so that no hostage or their families suffer in silence. Congratulations to Hostage US on this important milestone, and thanks for what you do.
Stop for a moment and imagine your anguish and terror learning that your father, your brother, your spouse, your loved one is ripped from your life to face a literal sea of fear. Fear for their safety, their basic needs. Hostage US provides guidance and services that light the dark waters. Tonight, I ask you to financially support Hostage US so we can continue to do good work. And I appeal to you to consider increasing your gift and to invite others to join our circle of light and hope.